What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the vlog. We are gonna go hard. The next week I'm going to try to put some videos out back to back, so maybe every other day I'm gonna shoot for, so stay tuned. There's a rumor around town that there are 2 poker vloggers throwing a 2-5 game tonight. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Apparently Andreww Neeme and Brad Owen are going to have a 2-5 game tonight here in Las Vegas. I'm just finishing up my pizza, hearing about this, so we're going to make a trip out, and I guess they're going to be putting the information on Twitter soon here. See if we can find this tweet about the game and check it out. I would love to mix it up with these guys, so let's see what's going on and see how we do. Let's take a quick look at this tweet. Andreww Neeme going to be playing some poker with Brad Owen at the fabulous Mirage Casino this evening. Stop by and say hi. Looks like an 8 o'clock game. And that's me. How many tables do we have? It's 2-5, and what's the min-max? Either way, let's go have some fun and play some poker, huh?
Alright, so we're heading out. It's about 7 o'clock. I wanted to be there just a little bit early. So I called the Mirage to see if there was a list for Andreww and Brad's game. And the Mirage, I spoke with Gina, who's amazing. She is a shift supervisor, sometimes the manager, I believe. And she's like, well, I didn't even know what was going on. But we only have 1 table left. And I was like, oh, wow, well, they made a pretty big deal about it. They're coming down there. And, you know, I was trying to find out if they had a list so I could get my name on it. And she told me, well, yeah, well, like, if they're definitely coming down, we'll reserve this. So I went ahead and reserved it for them. And hopefully they won't be upset for whatever reason. But I think it was the best thing to do. Better safe than sorry. So let's head down there and see what's going on. We are here early. The sun is going down. It is a beautiful day for poker. Gotta get over to the poker room and see what's going on. Alright, it looks like they're both already here. They have 2 games running. They might start a 3rd one right now. So that's pretty cool. I'm next on the list. It looks like it's the min-max is 2 to 1,000. See what the table looks like, and maybe get in for 5. So we're just gonna be chilling, get a water, and wait for our name to be called.
First and foremost, I want to thank Andreww, Neeme, and Brad Owen for this amazing night. It was a good time, a lot of great people there, and I had a blast.
I mean, one of the last 10 days when I show up and all these vloggers are out here. He's one of them. I know that.
There was a lot of good action, people are mixing it up. And I happened to run pretty well during this. Great guys, though, great guys. Look forward to the next one. Maybe a few rounds in, I finally get a decent hand. Ace Queen on the button. Everybody folds to me. I raise to 15. So it's just against the blind. The small blind looks at me like, you're an asshole. But he was a great guy, just messing around. Big blind ends up calling, we go heads up. Flops Queen, 7, 9, 2 clubs. He checks over to me, and I continuation bet for 20. He calls. We go to the turn, it is a 3 of clubs. And I decide to pot control right here, just in case maybe he will bluff the river. And I also know I have backup clubs, not clubs if they come, so I check back, hopefully inducing some kind of bluff. Maybe even got there on the clubs, I don't know. So I check back. Turn is a 10 of clubs. He leads out for 40. I think about it for a few minutes, and I raise to 125, and he insta-mucks and says something angry like he turned the flush or something. So we scoop up the first half-decent pot. Unfortunately, he didn't call our raise, but that's poker. So this next hand, a little while later, I'm on the big blind. Everybody folds up to Andreww, who is in the cutoff. He raises to 15. Small blind folds. I'm pretty sure you can do this with a wide range of hands, so I'm going to defend with my king 7. I check blind, considering everything that comes I'm supposed to be checking anyways, so I want to kind of get a little bit of position on him in a sense. He immediately checks back on a board of king 8 tray. So we immediately go to the turn, which is a 7 of spades. And so now I've locked up 2 pair. I'm assuming he's gonna be start betting soon. So I check again. Come on, Andreww, bet. Come on, Andreww, bet. Come on, Andreww, bet. Nope. Insta checks from behind. The river being a deuce of clubs doesn't really change much at all. So I stick in a $25 bet, hoping he'll at least call or to have already given up on the hands. So he immediately folds. And that was the only hand I played against Andreww all night.
Alright, so it's about 10 o'clock. Brad's right here. Andrew's right here. Hey!
Hey, Mom!
Yeah, buddy.
Camera, Mom!
So we are grinding this game out. It's going pretty good, And they got 3 tables. Right now, a third here, it's a must move, and Brad's table's right here, so killing it, good time. Fuck. Hopefully we got audio on that. I just realized that I wasn't even filming the last hands for a while. In the last hand, I just had ace of spades, queen of clubs. I was on the button. It was a raise pre-flop to 15, 4 people flatted, king 10 8 on the board, 2 spades. She bet 20. There was a call behind me. I call. The turn is a 3 of spades, and I have a flush draw and still a gut shot with a jack. It goes check check. I bet 120. Everybody folds. Now let's get the camera going again and stop fucking off here.
So after realizing that my camera settings weren't facing the right way, I finally get back to the table. Not a little while later, I look down at aces on the button. There's a raise in early position to 20, which is the most aggressive guy at the table. This guy was awesome. He was giving action all night long and was still doing pretty well. Much respect to Dave. He made the game a lot of fun that night. So I call and the small blind calls. The flop is queen 10 6. 2 clubs. There's a check and a check up to me. I'm surprised that this aggressor checked. I'm going to make a pretty big bet, hoping that he does something crazy. But everybody folds, so, you know, given the 2 clubs on the board, I wasn't going to get too wild, get somebody catch up. There was also, it's just a very coordinated wet board, so I wasn't going to end up losing a big pot with my aces, so we took it down right there. So the very next hand, I wake up with 2 10s in the cutoff. The aggressive guy raises again to 25. It gets up to me, I re-raise to 125 with the 10s. He laughs and calls, so we go heads up. Flop comes king, 5, deuce, all rainbow. He checks, and I'm definitely continue. This king hits my range more than his, and I don't want any more overcards to come. So I bet 100, almost like a value bet, like I have my ace king, and he immediately folds. I'm okay with that.
It's clean, it's like clean living, you know?
Not the best board for kings, but hits my range more than his, so I stick in a continuation bet and we take it down. So a little while later, I wake up with queens in middle position. I make a raise to 20. There is some callers behind me, and we go 4 players to the flop. The flop is 10, 7 deuce, 2 spades. There are 2 players behind me, 1 in front of me. The first player checks in front of me. After a little bit of thinking, I decide on a bet of 60. I do have the queen of spades, which is a decent blocker, and there are some aggressive players in this pot. There is a call behind me, so this is a great spot to look like I missed with an ace king or something like that. Bet a little bit on the bigger side, and then the original aggressive guy, the guy who's been playing the most, he decides to put in his check raise.
175. Raise to 175.
He was the small blind in this hand. He check raises to 175. At this point, it's, do I want to raise or do I want to flat and hope the person comes behind me? There is 2 spades on the board. I do have a blocker. But let's just say another spade comes. I might be in a bad spot. If I jam, there's already enough money in right now, and the people don't have too much behind. So I want to like bring everybody along and see what the turn brings, and kind of reevaluate from there. I also know if I jam, I might scare everybody off at this point, and the small blind is the, like I said earlier, he's the aggressive guy. He's been keeping this game alive. Great guy. We're all, he was definitely the life of the party for sure. So I decide on a flat, hoping the guy comes in behind. I know I'm well ahead of everybody at this point. I don't want any big cards to come out, but there's also a lot of scary cards to come. And so I really want to just see what the turn is and then take it from there. The guy who check raised, I've seen him do some really funny stuff with like 3-5 off, 7 high, and all these different hands. I know the small blind, the aggressor's first to act, so he's probably going to put a big bet in here, and that's why I flat. The turn being a 7 of diamonds. Now there is a pair on the board. It is middle pair. I can't imagine anybody raising with any of his hands. No one has a 7 here. Where, you know, someone's got the ace 10, something like that, and maybe in a solid draw. Small blind bets 225. I think about it for a little while, and I jam.
I'm all in.
For $534. The guy behind me folds, so I feel a lot better. And then the aggressor, the small blind, he starts talking about the hand, and at this point I'm very relaxed. I know I have the best hand, and he eventually shows the 10 of diamonds and makes the laydown. So we scoop up this pretty decent pot.
Thank you. Watch my vlog, you'll figure it out.
some solid poker advice going on here. Alright, we are on a little break. Andrew just left the table and Andreww and Brad ended up switching. That's kind of cool. So everybody kind of gets to play with each of them, I guess. Pretty good turnout, 3 tables. We're running pretty good right now. Picking good spots and getting it done. So I like it. So we're gonna see what's up with Brad. I guess there's maybe some drinks later.